What is the fastest you have ever seen a new coworker get fired? You don't tell me what to do. You're a woman. To his trainer. Lasted until management came in that morning and heard about it. New guy started on Monday and was gone by Friday. The guy hit some racking in the warehouse with the forklift. Boss saw him do it. And the guy decided to lie about it when asked if he knew what happened. I work construction. We had 2 new hires that were friends starting the same day. Boss told one take a coffee order and come back. Took everyone's money and said he needed his friend to go with him cause it was a big order. They never came back. First day of work, he walks in. Says, "What the fuck is up, dumbass?" To the guy that parked next to. Didn't touch. His new Camaro he bought since he got hired. The guy was the CEO of the company I used to work for. On visit to our branch. Literally 10 minutes into his shift he was signing release papers. A week. I worked in a bar and a new girl started. At work. She seemed a little rough but was fine. One day she finished a shift, sat at the bar and ordered a red wine with lemonade and ice in it. Not really relevant to the story, just shows she is clearly insane. Her boyfriend came in. They had a huge domestic in front of my manager and several customers and she threw her drink over her BF and dramatically stormed out. Worked in a grocery store for a while. New guy took a lobster out of the tank and removed the elastic bands on its claws. Then proceeded to put it back in the tank. The thing murdered all the other lobsters in the tank. A 19-year-old kid got hired to work the seafood counter. See him twice and then never again. Asked a coworker what happened. He had closed seafood one night and was walking out of the store and the 5 pounds of crab legs he'd stuffed down the back of his pants fell out in front of the closing manager. Edit. It was at a Publix. No. It was not Jameis Winston. Coworker quit his job. Great job. Great pay. Great benefits to work in a radio repair place. I mean, gotta do what you love and he was also a big radio enthusiast. Got fired the first day on the job for stealing parts for his own radios at home. Took him over a year to get back with us. Surprised they rehired him. He then got fired for being a security risk about a year or so later. Spent my summers in college working as a laborer for a construction company. Anyway. We were doing a bunch of renovation in an active hospital. So noise and dust were a huge concern. We were a small crew and just starting renovations on an area with a super tight schedule. So the company hired a subcontractor for some of the work. Enter these 2 clowns who show up to do some demolition work. Foreman gives them the talk about how they may be used to doing things a certain way. But this is an active hospital so he'd rather the work take longer than for them to make a huge mess or a lot of noise. An hour later. We apparently got multiple complaints about the noise and the mess. So the foreman calls me up and says to go over there and clean up now. And that he'd be by shortly to see what the hell was going on. These dudes had dust and broken wall everywhere. I could hear them halfway down the hall. Just smashing away without a care in the world. The foreman shows up and we walk into the room to witness this dude standing on a pile of rubble swinging a sledgehammer over his head at a brick wall that he's removed the bottom from. Somehow the rest of this wall is still hanging from the ceiling. I have no idea how. Guy wasn't even wearing a hard hat. Apparently oblivious that at any moment that wall might give way and crush him. The foreman lost his fucking mind on these guys. Kicked them out immediately. And got on the phone with their company and told them he didn't want to see these guys on site again. Lots of choice 4-letter words were used. Even threatened to fire the subcontractor entirely and get someone else to do the work. Couldn't pass the simple tests given at the end of new hire orientation. Yelled at test facilitator when she wouldn't just take the test for him. The IT crew at a large government office worked on a ticket system. Meaning that the government workers submitted their problem online and one of the IT guys would pick it up on their end. The new guy just started his first day. Logged into a computer at an empty office. And submitted a reinstall entire OS request so he could spend all day there. The manager decided to check in on him before lunch to see how he was doing, and he was completely asleep. Fired before they even finished his hiring paperwork. This is the opposite route here but I found it amusing. My boss was out of town and I managed a tea shop near a Starbucks years ago. This kid came in. Foreign. And said he was supposed to start today. We were hiring and I trained him etc. My boss came back 2 days later and had no idea. The kid was in the wrong place but he stayed with us. Hired on the spot without even applying. Guy got hired. Went through training and all that jazz. First day on the floor. He disappeared for 3 hours and then came back high as fuck on like meth or something. A manager found him in the bathroom aisle, staring at himself in the mirror. Said manager looked at the cameras after firing him. The guy was there staring at himself for at least 30+ minutes. Edit to clear up some questions. I worked at Home Depot. He was in the aisle where we sell bathroom countertops and medicine cabinets. We also have mirrors in this aisle and that's where he was. Not in the bathroom, haha. New director starts. At lunchtime goes to cafeteria. Pays for the first salad plate. By weight. Then goes back twice for refills without paying. Cafeteria has cameras. Cafeteria manager talks to the partner in charge. New director fired before the end of day. 5 days. My boss hired an executive chef. Dude didn't even know how to make a quesadilla. This was a pizza place I worked at in college. New guy was started on Thursday. Fine worker, we showed him the ropes. He was on subs, which is the easiest job. The instructions are right in front of your face. Friday he no call no shows. It's Friday, the busiest night of the week. And he and I were the only kitchen workers that weren't also drivers. Monday a police officer shows up at the restaurant looking for him. No idea what happened as he wasn't there. Tuesday the owner informed me he was let go. I called a temp agency to get someone to help me count inventory. They sent a guy over with a cast on his arm. That was my first WTF, but I went with it because we were just counting parts. Then I came back from lunch and this dude was in my office chair zoned out and drooling on himself with a can of air duster in his lap. I kicked him awake and escorted him out of my warehouse. Never used that temp agency again. Guy had been working a few days at a barn. Decided to smoke right by bales of hay. Manager saw him and fired him right on the spot. At farms, you don't fuck around with fire. Removed. A man was hired to do stock at a tea store that sold lots of delicate china. Manager walked into the back on his third day and saw him just throwing boxes of teacups and teapots. Instantly fired.